Hey everybody, and welcome to everythingvoiceover.com. My name is Justin D. Torres. Today we're going to be talking about ACX, which is called the Amazon Audiobook Creation Exchange, which is brought to you by Audible and Amazon. It is a free service as of October 8th, 2017. It's where the Amazon has created a marketplace for narrators to be able to reach out to actual writers and be able to create audiobooks without really that big of a middleman, being Amazon, of course, taking their small cut of it. So this is basically a free service for people who want to get into audiobooks, and we're going to talk a little bit about what exactly it is. Now, right now, what you're looking at is my individual page that I have that I view as my dashboard. On the top, you've got the projects that I've done, offers coming in, messages that have come in, account settings, whatnot. But if you look at these are all the things I auditioned for. Most of the time, some people don't even listen to the auditions. The offers that I've had and books that I've actually completed in the process. And, these are books that I actually did, and these were years ago. Unfortunately, I don't really work with ACX anymore, but it is a great function for newer voiceover actors. What you do is you go look in the search section and you go under titles accepting auditions after you've signed up. If you already have an Amazon account, I believe it actually connects to ACX, so you actually probably already have an ACX account if you or have access to one, even if you didn't know it, and if you have an Amazon account. So what you do is you look through the search, titles accepting auditions, you go through all these lovely auditions. Now, you can filter by gender, which usually is what I do, because you want to be able to accept the gender that you are. So I'm going to put in male there, and that already knocks everybody out. And then, usually what I like to do is also go through another voice filter, is voice age. Like, that'll take off a lot of the stuff that you're not even gonna have a chance at. So I'll get rid of stuff like child, tween, teenager seems a little bit young for me, so I'm gonna go with only those two. And watch, it goes from 1,000 to 98. So, and then that's an important one. Voice age is very important to go after. It'll knock it down so that you aren't auditioning for things you don't have to audition for. The other thing is project, let me see, incentive programs? Yes, incentive programs. Let me see what the difference is between incentive programs. Usually, actually no, this one here is what you want, project rate. Project rate is, the two combinations is PFH or royalty share. PFH stands for per finished hour. So in an hour of audiobook, fully recorded, fully edited audiobook work, they will pay $0 to $50 per finished hour. And royalty share is a bit of a different story. It's like you get X amount per every audiobook they sell. And I don't know, I've never done it before because it's actually really, you may not get any money, or sometimes if you hit a good book and you know it's going to be doing well, you may make a lot of money. The point is that for me personally, what I've found out is that I started, my first few audiobooks were $50 to $100 per finished hour, and that was a grueling process, because what ends up happening is, what I've found out is that for every 1 hour that I recorded an audiobook, it would take me 2 extra hours to edit it. Now, there's some people who say you can do punch and roll, and that you can speed up your editing process, and this, admittedly, back in the day when I was doing $85, I was actually not doing any punch and roll. I was going back through the entire audiobook itself and taking out all the breaths and taking out all the mistakes and redoing them. However, punch and roll is a difference. If you know how to do punch and roll, it might speed you up a little bit, but I've always been a believer that punch and roll is really only good if you have a sound engineer there. So it is a good ratio. It's a very regular ratio to tell people that it's about 3 hours of work per finished hour, possibly more depending on how new you are to the process. So I've found that my $50 to $100 is a bit of a painful process, but if you're a new person, it's a learning curve, so you would be able to make a little bit of money and see a full check at the end. So if you're newer, I'd say go between the 50 to 100 or the 100 to 200 spot. After doing about 10 audiobooks on my own, I've figured out that my money spot where I feel like I can, get up in the morning and feel like this is actually a work that's worthwhile, I usually could do at least $200 per finished hour to $400 per finished hour. And I've never done royalty share at all. So if I was looking for jobs that I was going after, I would switch between 240 to 400 to 1,000 and apply. And what happens? Got one. So this is the deal with ACX. They don't have that many books. They have a lot of books, but unfortunately a lot of the books are on the lower end because audiobook, these are being self-published books. They're not necessarily, some of them are by the actual author themselves. So, it's going to be less books and for less money. But at the same time, if you cannot afford a voices.com account or I wouldn't say Voice123. I definitely recommend people do voices.com first. But if you cannot afford any of those, this is definitely a good practice ground. And they also have length of books as well. So you might be able to find stuff that is less than 3 hours that might be a little bit easier to get done. The average audiobook is I'd say about 5 to 10 hours, maybe 10 or more hours. So that's the gist of ACX. It's just a really functionable, really good way to connect narrators with audiobook publishers and audiobook and just writers in general. So this is definitely a good thing for a person starting out if they want to try and take on the audiobook market. One big thing about I recommend everyone try ACX at some point and try to edit an audiobook because it is a skill and it will teach you editing so quickly, because there's nothing that gets people editing quicker is if they know that they have a 3-hour audiobook due that is for an X amount of money. So, that has been your quick intro to ACX. My name is Justin D. Torres. Be sure to head on to everythingvoiceover.com. Check out some more videos that we've got there. And thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope to feel free to message me anytime if you have any questions about voiceover. Take care. Bye.